Dasen Tachia is live there for us. And Dasen, good morning. We saw that brief postponement yesterday. Should we expect that things will finally get going this morning?
I think I'll have to be careful with my words this morning, Dan, because the last time we spoke, I said that we had expected it to start after those long delays that we had seen. Previously, there had been issues over legal representation, which had delayed the trial. We thought that it would get going yesterday, but we understand that after that postponement, it is expected to start at least in about 25 minutes at the Pietermaritzburg High Court. Now, the reason for those delays yesterday was over medical records and post-mortem results that needed to be submitted, so the postponement was by agreement between both those parties. So today, when this case eventually does get going, we understand that the state will start by setting the scene, so to speak. I imagine that they'll be outlining some of those details of the alleged crimes that these 8 were involved in. You did mention one of them is a policeman, that's Bekokwazi Mdweshu. He was allegedly the ringleader of this criminal enterprise that was operating at the Glebelands hostel. Now, according to the indictment, it seems that he and his co-accused had tried to instill fear in the community of Glebelands, and as a result of that, there were at least 9 people that were killed allegedly by the accused, as well as several attempted murder cases. They were also found in possession of illegal firearms. And one of the other charges they're facing is racketeering as well. So we hope that some of those details of how this alleged criminal enterprise was run will come out in court when their trial gets underway.
Yeah, I mean, so many people have died in Glebelands-related violence for quite a long time, Dasen. I mean, we say more than 100 between 2014 and 2016. And I seem to recall there was also an on-the-ground kind of commission or some investigation that happened, including even the Public Protector's Office way back. I mean, will some of those kind of things be brought into the court? I mean, this is going to be a long, long trial, in my view.
Definitely a long trial, Dan. Let's start there, because we've got 107 witnesses to get through, and this trial is set down until the 30th of September. So we imagine that it is going to be quite a lengthy process. As to whether that information will come out, we will see from that witness list if anyone is going to refer to those investigations and those reports that had been released. You talked about the Public Protector's report. Hers was quite a damning one. That report was released in 2017, and it spoke to the fact that the eThekwini municipality had all but abandoned residents of the Glebelands hostel, that social development hadn't really been doing its work there, that there were very few upgrades and any kind of care that was taken off this hostel, and that contributed to the violence that we saw there. The Glebelands hostel was also a big part of the Morane Commission, which was looking into political killings in KwaZulu-Natal. In fact, the majority of the killings that they were looking into did originate in that hostel. And the number of 100 that you spoke about is what an independent researcher had come up with. But she was talking about not just murders that had taken place within the hostel itself, but anything that was linked to the hostel. When Vanessa Berger, that researcher, had given testimony at the Morane Commission, she did say that the Glebelands hostel was in fact a reservoir of hitmen. It was a place where people went to find someone to commit killings in any part of KwaZulu-Natal, and that is how she came up with that number. But the official number, if the Public Protector's report is anything to go by, that during that 2-year period of 2014 to 2016, she had said that there were at least 44 killings that had taken place.
Thank you very much, Dasen Tacha there. We then await the start of that Glebelands 8 trial in Durban.